Welcome, I'm RG. Welcome to Behind the Scenes of RG Studios. This is where you get to find out about what's really going on behind RG Studios and maybe get a sneak peek at something that we've done, that we captured behind the scenes. And then I also tell you a little bit about what has inspired me. What has inspired me, and I've been reading a lot of books lately. Well, I read an old book, was about the Empire of Their Own. You gotta get that book, it's interesting. But anyway, what has inspired me today is some of that book and the processes of the old Golden Age studios of that era and the presentation of the theaters today and the internet viewing that we got going on. That's a great inspiration that has gotten me all, and it gives me inspiration. What can I say? Now, the Golden Age studios were run by one guy. That studio, Paramount, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers. Well, I think then it was 6 of them. They call them the Big Six, the Major Six. They own the theaters too. They just didn't own the studio, they owned the theaters. So when they called the shots and something was in the theater, that's what happened. They ran the deal. And this book that and many other books that I've been reading have given me an idea how these filmmakers, these movie moguls, run a studio. Well, I'm so inspired by that. But today, studios are basically run by corporate conglomerates. You might have a peanut factory versus tied in with selling a barbecue worldwide, owning the studio, owning all the stocks in the studio. But needless to say, I am inspired by the ever-changing model and paradigm of the studios. Now we're moving into an era, just like record companies, moving into an era where you can watch on the dime a movie anywhere on the internet. Oh boy. Now this opens the door for the independents for sure. Because back in the early Golden Age independents, if you didn't meet the qualities of that movie mogul's personality, and I don't care what your script said, if he didn't like it because he didn't fit his personality, it didn't get made. End of story. And then came the era of the 60s, where the movie moguls were dying off, they were changing hands, and the people that were running the semi-conglomerates, they didn't know how to make movies. So what did they do? They hired people straight out of school. That's where you got Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Martin Scorsese's, Francis Ford Coppola. These particular immigrants that came here to this country and built what we call Hollywood, or gave to what we know as the Golden Age of Hollywood, they were trying to escape something that they didn't want no part of no more, which was their past, their life. And then they created, in the midst of their work in Hollywood, as we know it today, they created the Golden Age stars. I last tallied Spielberg's picture, he was making it for $50 million. They got these other Joes making movies for $250 million. What happened to the days when the man that made us $1 billion can get us anything we want? I don't know. Oh, fame is fame. You can get that in many ways. Don't get me wrong. I fell under the spell of fame, big hits, all of that. I'm like everybody else. I'm not special. So when I talk about it, I talk from an experience point of view. I don't care much about it. Put it that way. I love my studio more than I love anything. I love my studio like I love myself, because it's part of, thanks to the Golden Age of me being inspired by the moguls of the past. My studio is part of my personality. If you come here and work with me on the project, you'll see that for yourself. You may not see it more so in my internet art, so to speak, but if you work with me on a personal level, you'll understand, oh, that studio is basically, him and that studio, they're like one. It's part of him. I've been in other artists' house in their domain, and it's basically the same. Again, that's what we're dealing with when you're dealing with a movie conglomerate today versus a Golden Age studio then. Now, it's still all about dollars and cents, but it's even more about dollars and cents with the conglomerates. Oh yeah. You know, I don't care what you made 3 or 4 years ago. What can you do now? That's what you do. Check this out. Now, since we talked about that, I got something really, really neat for you. I always tell you that I can't have another camera on set while we're shooting film and all of that, shooting an internet art film. You know, while I'm shooting. So I have to take, when I see a special moment coming up, I say, you know what, I need to grab this because this is going to be special. And what I got for you right now is special. This was taken from a special moment when I was creating the internet art film Progress and Crisis. What? You have something new? Yes, I do. No, don't say. Really? I got something new. This character in this internet art film had to be special. You know, he was and I think I got enough footage of it. It explains it, but I want to kind of give you a new perspective of it. He was a revolutionist type, 1960s style revolutionist, you know, and I've been around these kind of individuals before, and I wanted to put this into my internet art film. You know, their perspective on God, religion as we know it, organized as I call it, social engineering with the mindsets of peoples. You know, I wanted that to like take form into this mask, and so when he spoke, you kind of got an ideal perspective, like, you know. And this film is a social film. It's a social type film. I don't know if many people have, well, it's over 300 views in RG Studios. That's a hit, baby. This one here is not as rough, but it's still as intense because it's directly social. And these characters are based off real people that I've met before. A kind of conglomerate of several gangster style, ghetto gangsters, people who are revolutionist type. All of that I'm trying to put in this one mask. I give you a peek how I at RG Studios create mask for something as artful as Progress and Crisis. We'll see you when you get back. I'm finna get ready to make me a mask for my film, for the Progress and Crisis. I'm finna use some plaster, make me a composition here for a mold, and use it. The mold is basically, what I'm trying to capture is this face here. See this face? It has a lot of detail. Let's see, I don't think you can see it here. Let me see here. This composition here, I'm trying to catch the man's, I like the way they made this mask. I'm trying to capture this. This is a head piece here, used for something else, but I'm trying to capture the structure and so forth. It's going to help it's going to give me the character that I'm looking for, Progress and Crisis. The character that's going to be, that I call the preacher and the revolutionist. This is going to be represent his face. And when I put my acting skills along with this, I want I want this to have a presentation of perspective. Mix already here. I'm gonna get ready to pour it on this. Ooh, I forgot to put Vaseline on the structure, so get this stuff out of here. Stir it up. This plaster dries fast, so I had it sitting up there for a second while I was talking, and while I was talking it was drying. In other words, I better get to work, which I'm going to do just right now for me. I'm hoping to have this character features enough to where I'm going to use this leak seal flexible rubber. I'm going to use this leak seal flexible rubber coating. I bought this for about $9, you know. I'm gonna spray this in there. Now, for those out there, this is not like using any other type of latex where you can pull off the mask. You know, this here stuff sticks. It's for sealing is what it's for. But it is rubber, and it's cheap, and it's quick. I'm going to spray this on the inside of that real quick and fill it up to where I want to. We'll give it a few minutes, and I'll be back to show you what the second half of this is going to look like. Okay. And be careful, I don't turn nothing up. Looks like it'll come right off. At least I'm feeling it. Let's go ahead and take the tape off. I no longer need that. Yep, comes right off. And here we got it. Well, that's not perfect, but you know what? When you're being creative, you use whatever you can. You know, you just go with the flow. Okay, I'm going to take some Vaseline and I'm going to put it all in here. Like that there. Get all in the little cracks and nooks and crannies of everything. So when I take this saran wrap, it will just fold right into those small areas right away. Rubber coat stuff, shake it up real good. Great. Now this plastic that you see up like this is just so I wouldn't get the edge of my mold full of rubber, but it's actually got a lot of cellophane there still too. Not just extra that I put there. I'm going to lay it down like this here, so everything will fall in place. Put this right here, like that. Well, I'm going to get ready to do my next scenes in my movie. As you can see, I cut myself shaving. I had to shave in order to do this one particular scene for Progress and Crisis, and I'm feeling pretty right now. It's a negative vibe, you know. I know artists everywhere go through this. And I learn, or I'm learning. Here's the mold, the finished product, the mold. This is how it appeared. There was another part right here that I had to cut away so I could see the bottom part of my mouth because it didn't look right the way I wanted to see. You gotta forgive me. I'm in a negative vibe at the moment, and I might do some uncharacteristic things. Take it apart like this here. Take it apart. And in front is the mask. I've already put stuff on it. I'm going to have it on like this here. And this is the character. Man, of course I won't have this Band-Aid on my face.
God is right, Stanley. We have fallen from the original sin. No, action. But God is right, Stanley. We have fallen onto the original sin. And comes out of that. Action again. But God is right, Stanley. We have fallen unto the original sin. And out of that comes civil bondage, Stanley. And the vices of men have become the old Roman Empire, Stanley.
Because I kind of went rambling on about what the film is about more so than what The Mask is about. So it's The Mask is about trying to design something so you get an idea of the time and era that I'm trying to bring to you. Okay, I think I've said enough about that.